it's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day. And I am in Carmel Valley, a suburb of San Diego, California, for a maintenance. It has been 1 year, almost to the day, since I've been here. And the last time I was here, we installed this tapestry. This used to be grass. Well, Greg, you want to pan over to the neighbors? It was basically this. And I convinced the client to let me rip it out, and this tapestry has not been touched in a year by anyone. Now remember, this is coastal San Diego, so you can almost grow rocks in this microclimate, in this zone. So if you live somewhere else where the weather is more challenging, don't despair. It's not your fault if your succulents are struggling. This is just a perfect place. So yet, despite the fact that it's a perfect place, there are a few things that have run amok in the year since I've been gone. Now, this installation, we went ahead and left the spray. Remember, I told you this was a lawn. So rather than convert the existing irrigation to drip, we just let it ride, but turned it way down, where this install maybe gets 3 minutes of water once every month. And that's sufficient for these plants. That being said, there's some issues like this Fred Ives, Graptivaria Fred Ives, one of my favorite succulents, but you can see how it has run amok. I don't like this. I don't like all this legginess. We've got a few little weeds coming up. This Crassula platyphylla is looking a little rough. So what are some quick fixes? What are some things you can do to solve this? Well, this is what I do. All right, so first things first, the Fred Ives is a tough plant. So it doesn't matter what time of year it is. It's summertime now in San Diego, but I can manipulate and work with this plant anytime I want because it's so tough. So I'm gonna take and pull this Fred Ives out of the ground. I'm gonna cut it up, and I am going to reset these two pieces of Fred Ives in the gaps in this platyphylla. Look at that. Fixed it, fluffed it up. It looks beautiful now. My work there is done. But in here, I'm gonna do a little housekeeping. I'm gonna clean up all the leaves that have fallen. And remember, with the fatter leaved succulents, you can propagate these leaves if you want. You can set these leaves, because they have so much moisture and water in them, you can set them on some dry soil in a shady spot in the yard and on their backs like this. And in time, if you're lucky, you'll get little offsets right here at the tips where these leaves have fallen off of the meristem of the mother plant. But I'm just gonna, you can break them off, you can pull the whole thing out, roots and all. It doesn't really matter. If I leave some stem, I'll probably get offsets below where this has broken, and I can cover up that stem just by scratching up the soil and popping the little plant right there to cover up the stem. So aesthetically, that looks really attractive. Now you do you. Here in Carmel Valley in San Diego, Fred Ives are, I don't want to say weeds because I love them and I encourage them, but they're very available and prevalent and prolific. So and you have to understand the nature of my business. I mean, I do this every single day and I deal with copious amounts of plant material. So I am not personally in a position to save stems and propagate leaves, but I'm an advocate for it. I encourage you, if you want to do that, then God bless. you go, you do it. But for my purposes, I'm on a time constraint in a maintenance. I've got more of these than I know what to do with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take pieces of this Fred Ives, like so, and because of where I live again, and that this zone and microclimate is very mild, I do not need to wait for these ends to harden before I set them back in the ground. And why am I doing that? Why did I pull them out? Because I'm not a big lover of this stemmy, trunky kind of a look. I like a more compact plant. If you like this, then leave it. It's not hurting anything. But for me, and because I am only here periodically, I need to make sometimes some tough decisions. I'm not going to be in this garden every day, every week, or every month to maintain it. So I need to do things that are going to stand the test of time. It's going to take a couple of months for these Fred Ives to reroot and start to grow again. So they'll stay compact for a very long time, probably until I can get back here. So I'm going to take my clippers, my multi-tool, and I'm going to scratch up the surface of the soil, make it soft and loamy, and I'm just going to pop them right back on the ground. Remember what I say, if your succulent stands up, you've done your job. If it's making contact with the soil, that's pretty much all that's necessary. I'm not going to worry about a thing. I'm just going to pop those in like candles in a birthday cake and make my decisions about where I want my new presentation of plant material to go. Now, I like that. I don't need all of these here. So this is kind of what I'm talking about, you know. I mean, succulents are the gift that keeps on giving. So these guys are going to be moved around in other areas where I see holes or gaps in the garden. I'm going to pop in these Fred Ives. This has been Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity, reporting in Carmel Valley, San Diego County, California, with maintenance and your succulent tip of the day.